Hello, welcome to another video, and as you can probably guess, this one involves Roadie on the treadmill, and we're straight into it. As you can see, I'm on my own today, so this is me handheld filming. I didn't film going into the house and getting Roadie and getting him on the treadmill. Nothing weird or abnormal occurred. This is his first few seconds on there, and he's straight into running, which is great, or trotting. Yeah, it's a slow run, I suppose. After this, as per usual, I'll take him for a walk and we'll see what we see in terms of dogs and people. I can't remember off the top of my head because I haven't watched the footage back yet, so I'm doing this in real time as we go. Good session on the treadmill, so there is a decent chunk of this. It's about 13 minutes of Roadie running on the treadmill. He did 2 stints, so he did this one solid run with some sprinting as the owner of the van and the treadmill gets his dog out and starts playing with some toys next to us, which you'll see occasionally feature in the footage. And Roadie really gets going then. Interesting, as I've said on previous versions, I don't like the way Roadie looks at the other dog. There's some not very good intent behind his eyes, and it's probably just as well he's on the treadmill and can't get anywhere. But Roadie does surprise me on this one. He does actually manage to disengage from the other dog who's right next to him in the van and carry on running. He refocuses his attention on me and just keeps going. So I didn't think Roadie would be able to do that, if I'm honest. I really didn't. I think he's just gets too fixated in dogs, and being in a run like this is an exciting thing for him. So I thought that kind of energy level would mean that you can see he's focusing on the dog's clearly out. Bear's down there somewhere. Yeah, I thought Roadie would just be too fixated, and I was considering starting sessions without the other dog coming out, but I have to admit I was wrong. Roadie has shown he can get past Bear, and he does in this video at some point. Bear will be right there. I don't know if we'll notice this. Maybe if I don't know if I was talking. I don't think I was at the time because the treadmill is just so loud. So when we go back to original audio, yeah, fair warning, the treadmill is very, very loud. But yeah, I'm pleased to admit I was wrong. Roadie can and did on this treadmill session disengage from another dog's presence. That's a really positive thing, a really good step. Yeah, Bear is definitely there. But you can see what I mean about the hyperfixation Roadie gets around other dogs. He's an AmStaff. No great shock. This is the breed. They are meant to be like this. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of work to get them to not be like this. And that's what we're trying to do. And we're slowly making progress. So out there on the walk as well, I think we'll see we're still making progress in that direction, and it is progress. It's slow, but it's progress. But yeah, hopefully we'll see that, and I was clever enough with the footage to be able to show that Roadie is no longer paying attention to the dog that's right next to him, which is great. Anyway, enough waffling on from me. If the wind catches up to us on the walk, I will voice over, as it has been extremely windy these last couple of weeks in Melbourne. I wasn't filming. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. It was just a joke. 100 km/h winds. Was that 60 mph winds through the day? There's nothing like this. Yeah, Roadie's really off here. So I mean, this is not a friendly, happy dog. Oh, there's another dog's muscle. This is not a friendly kind of greeting gesture, but it's the excitement of running. I mean, this is intense. This is not what you would when you'd expect a dog to be able to do something calmly. Of course not. It's running. Nobody can run and be calm and ready to meet things which they are worried about, scared of, and otherwise unsocialized too. Humans couldn't do that. A dog can't do that. So no surprise. And it's been a useful thing to have Bear out to get Roadie to really get going on the treadmill and run, but now he knows he can do it for himself, and there's no real need to have an external motivation. That's still something which I see utility in. However, now knowing that he can unfocus from the other dog and bring that back onto me is also a very good thing. So I'm going to think about that for a while to see what we want to do. Anyway, volume's going to go up. Be ready unless you want to turn your volume down. We'll go back to the original audio.
They're around
so
somewhere.
much more comfortable on it now, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Good boy.
Yeah.
Good boy.
You're both whining at each other. You're having a break, are you?
3, 2, 1, up. Up. Good job.
He's coming off it. Yeah, you might need a little rest after that. It's 8 minutes of going. It's quite intense.
Yeah, there we go. Becky's looking into nothingness now.
Good. You know this as much as I do. The breedy is, once you get that silly, highly strung, fast twitch energy out, they calm down into, dare I say it, nice dogs.
Yeah.
But if you don't get that fast twitch, hard energy out, they're just like a coiled spring ready to go rah, anything.
Yeah.
You've got to get them that energy out, because it de-stresses the brain. It just releases all the pent-up frustration, which they're a breed just meant to have that frustration, otherwise they won't fight.
Yeah.
They're a breed bred for fighting. If they don't get wound up and frustrated, they won't do it. But to get rid of that urge, you've got to de-stress them.
So we'll save your ears for a second longer while Roadie bashes away on the treadmill. What I was saying there about this dog, so Roadie is an AmStaff, a purebred AmStaff, which, if you know anything about the history of the breed, is polite code for American Pit Bull Terrier. Now, that breed has a very, very, should we say, dubious reputation in some places, and some restricted breed ownership allowances in some places. That's the dog show world, or the breeding world, wanted to polish up the image of the American Pit Bull Terrier, and so certainly dogs which were a while ago now, 50, 60 years ago, separated out from the fighting pit lines into the more show dog lines, were granted the different name and kind of technically the different breed of American Staffordshire Terrier. It's a play on words. They are American Pit Bull Terriers, but they are a differently bred line. They do have separate bloodlines, but their common ancestor is only about 50 or 60 years ago. So the genetics in that time frame haven't changed much. They've changed a bit. The AmStaffs are bred to be a bit softer, less fighty, but they are still what they are. And let's not jump or beat around the bush here. They are American Pit Bull Terriers, but they are bred to be softer. They don't have the original purpose breeding lines in the recent history, but there's no point pretending they're something they're not. They are not companion dogs like your toy poodles, etc., and things like that. They are a working dog, if you can classify a fighting dog as a working dog. So yeah, that's part of that breed mix, and the reason they were good at doing what they were doing, and still used in some cases as working dogs for doing things like boar hunting, is their penchant for getting stressed and frustrated. When you know how aggression works and how confidence works, and the wrong mix of all those things, and you get dogs which lash out first and ask questions later, coupled with the propensity to latch onto a bite and not let go and do a lot of shaking. A dog is no good at doing that particular job if it doesn't get frustrated, it doesn't get wound up, and it has high confidence. High confidence animals don't lash out because they know they can deal with the situation. Low confidence, frustrated and stressed animals lash out, and that's the mechanism that pit bulls had bred into them, coupled with a complete disregard for any sense of self-preservation, which made them so good at doing what they were doing, which was fighting. It's unfortunately how the mammalian brain works. You need unsocialized, unconfident, that's not the word, insecure, unsocialized, insecure, zero sense of self-preservation to be the dog that they are. And so to make that into a pet form, you've got to get rid of all those things. So you have to get the dog well socialized, you have to give it some confidence, and you have to give it regular de-stressing. And the best way to do that is through exercise, especially with these guys. They need to replicate the purpose they were bred for, and that does include vermin dogs. That's where the terrier part comes from. So they have that need to do a chase and a kill of something. And that's why flirt poles are really, really good for this breed. Something they can chase, get their hands, get the jaws on, give it a bite and a shake, and replicate that a few times. Tug toys are also great for them as well, because it gives them that outlet for their particular breed purpose. It's synthetic, it's simulated, sure, but it works. They need that de-stress, otherwise they are just loose cannons waiting to go off. Anyway, as you can see, we're off the treadmill now, so Roadie had a 5-minute rest inside his house while I had to go get the long leash from my car, and the poo bag holder which I'm wearing. I left a few bits and bobs in my car, so I already had a rest in the house while I did that, and he had a drink, and while I sorted the leashes out, unknotted it, etc, etc, and now we're on a walk. So you'll see, look how nicely he's walking. No pulling, loose leash, he's a couple of meters from me, he's going over to smell something. He's not pulling, he's not charging at that bush at full speed as if his entire life depends on reaching that smell before I can stop him with a leash. And I'll give him what he wants because he's asking nicely. He's walking, he's not demanding by digging his legs down and putting his shoulders down and just marching forward. Now here he does one in a minute, maybe it's just this bush. He does one of the worst things he's ever done to me in his life. He poos on the leash. That took me a while to fix up. I don't film that occurrence. It took us a while. Here we go. He manages to actually poo on the leash in a minute. Not here. He moves. After he's finished pooping, he moves and he drags the leash through the poo. So I've cleared all that mess up and we've moved because I came over here to rub the leash in the grass and the dirt to get it off. That I'm not going to let you hear what I said on the original recording here, because there's a lot of 4-letter curse words and irritation on my part. A bit of laughter. I just got to laugh at these things. But I'm as annoyed. I've never ever in all the years I've been working with dogs and owning dogs managed to have a dog actually drag the leash through their poo that they just left on the floor, and it wasn't a solid poo that didn't leave any smearing. It picked half of the damn thing up on the leash. Anyway, I was not a happy chappy for a while, so I'm voicing over the diatribe of swear words that are coming out of my mouth at the moment. But again, I'll just point you to how nicely Roadie is walking. Look at it. He's genuine, loose leash, walking with me. Yeah, he's panting. Yeah, he's still tired. He's not knackered, but he feels good about himself. He feels relaxed. His tension is dissipated. His stress is dissipated. And he's enjoying just being. He's enjoying just existing in this space. Nothing is making him go running towards a smell like his life depends on it. Nothing is making him feel uncomfortable. He is not bothered by things that are 50 meters in the distance. He's just enjoying being. And that, for this breed, seeing him go on that treadmill, you saw how hard he went. That is just of such vital importance to reducing the unwanted behaviors, the bad behaviors, and the risk of them doing dumb stuff. And don't get me wrong, if an off-leash dog comes up to us now, we're still going to have a problem. Roadie is not yet socialized to dogs. He doesn't know how to navigate those situations politely, and because of what he is, that means he's going to do mean things to the other dog. Now, if the other dog happens to be 3 times his size, like one of my dogs, that's not going to end well for him. Or like we saw the other week with the 2 American bulldogs, that they were all hard staring at each other. That's not going to be a favourable outcome for Roadie. 2-on-1 ain't working for him, even though he's a pit bull. Just when they're bigger than him and pretty much equally as tough, and there's 2 of them, it's just, I'm not interested in that mess, which is why we walked on. But in terms of just existing, and I don't think we actually see a dog in any level of closeness here. I'm moving off the path here because there's people coming, there's a cyclist coming. But we get to work now. He's in a frame of mind where he can actually work and learn. This is where we would ideally need to get close to other dogs and just be. And that experience for him of just being near other dogs, realizing that he doesn't actually have to be worried about them. He doesn't have to be scared of them. He doesn't have to go and attack them, because attack is a great first form of defense. That's their breed. He can just see them, smell them, let them be, and we can go on our way. And that is really as social as this guy's ever probably going to be. He's nearly 5 years old. He is what he is. But yeah, getting him to that point where he can understand that just existing in the world, seeing things like other dogs, who cares? But this is the frame of mind you need him in to be able to get him to learn. And that is partially because of his breed and partially his age. He's a fit, healthy, youngish now, coming up 5, dog. And he's been de-stressed. He's feeling good. This is the little window you get where learning really is optimized. But as you're seeing, we're doing a fair loop here. We haven't seen anything except one cyclist, which he doesn't usually have a problem with anyway. So I just got out of the way of them because they're on the path. Sorry for my sniffing. It's hay fever season here in Melbourne, and I do suffer. But I will try and go back to original audio in a minute. I have a suspicion it's a little windy. It was earlier, so we're even more open here. There's not much tree cover, so it probably will be. I hope you come across a dog. Otherwise, I will just let you have a watch and a listen as what's going on. But look how nicely he's walking. Can't get over it. Just look at it. He's doing great. Absolutely great.
Roadie in my right hand for this. Alright, they've seen us coming and they are subtly moving the dog out of the way. Or not, or maybe they haven't seen us coming. Oh, there's 2 dogs there. Okay, well, Roadie's busy at the minute. And one's a staffy. So we'll see what happens. They've got theirs on leashes and got a hold of them. I got Roadie in my right hand and I got a hold of him.
When I say got a hold of their dogs, I mean that. I've spotted out the corner of my eye, and I don't go into detail here, These two gentlemen who have two dogs, they're pit mixes too, have literally grabbed their dogs, and one of them has even tied it up around the bench as well as holding the leash. So I spotted this. I spotted there's a little bit of fear in these other owners. They are not comfortable from that distance away spotted with their dog spotting another dog. Now, you'll see what happens.
This is just going to be a case of we're walking past. I don't think, judging by their reactions, that this is people who are going to want to have some time spent working the dogs in this scenario. So we will just walk past. So Roadie's showing some interest. He's having a whine, so I'm just going to keep walking, stay calm and keep walking. So, yep. He's not chewed the leash, so the harness is working. He is just down here. So again, I am leading him now. I am pulling him. We are just walking on because those dogs are not happy. He is now chewing the leash. I get it. I understand why. The most important thing there is calm. I've just got to stay calm and keep walking. That's a very, very uptight situation. Look at him checking on me. I like it. He's putting the brakes on. He wants to go back. Answer's no. I'm not even going to wait for him because those dogs are still agitated. Ideally, I would just wait for him to join me, but those guys are having a bit of trouble with the dogs.
Yeah, the seriousness of that situation only really started to sink in around here. So one of the dogs, as it tried to escape its owner by pulling against the leash, essentially did almost a crocodile barrel roll, and then realised it was tied to the bench. Yeah, quite an unattractive and slightly shocking thing to kind of catch out the corner of my eye. Was not particularly impressed, and the other one, which was also leveraged around the seat of the bench the guy was sat on, was desperately trying to get towards us as well. They were doing a roadie basically. They were pulling with all their might, desperately trying to get over to him, and Roadie responding in kind, not really actually, which was good. He did put the brakes on, he did chew the leash, so he was finding it a struggle too, but that's why I just kept walking. I did pull Roadie out of the way. I could tell this was a problem scenario. It was much worse than I gave away with the words, and unfortunately didn't really get to film them because I just had to go. I had to get out of there. That was not a good situation, and it would have gone horribly, horribly wrong. Now I'm doing what I usually do. As you'll see in the footage, we get a little bit of distance away and I stop. I let Roadie look. We're a safe distance away. The other dog's starting to calm down, and then calm down, and then we can move on. So I'll show that in the next couple of seconds of the footage after this freeze.
So we're just going to walk on. I don't feel the need to cause too much hassle. So there's Roadie. She's pretty much calm again now. He stopped. Just having a look around. That's fine. The other dogs are still looking at him. So I am gonna do the normal. I'm facing this way. He's just down here. He's looking back. So the leash is loose. There's no tension there, and I'm just gonna wait for him to join me. So this is a decent enough distance that we're not causing them any undue hassle. There's people playing over there at the park. They're outside at the moment, so I put the camera back on him. His hackles are up a little bit still. Or it could just be the harness. Actually, I lied. Yeah, I'm wrong. They're not. It's just the harness, and he's with me, so we'll walk. So your distance is important. Knowing what is an appropriate distance away from a difficult situation to do the work with getting calm and moving on is important. It's difficult. That was intense. Those dogs were having issues maintaining their own calm. Both of them were struggling against their bonds in the leashes. One of them fell over. It was struggling so hard. I don't think that's on film. I'll only know that when I watch it back. Yeah, it's not the situation you want to be in. You're not going to get calm quickly there. You're going to get dogs over threshold almost immediately, and that's with a fairly good amount of space between them. So some days you just got to keep going and know that work will be done a little bit further away. But again, crucially, you've got to stay calm. You can't get frustrated or angry, start shouting. You just add energy to the mix. So that's the last thing that it needs. It needs this calmness being introduced. Oh my God, the flies. Sorry, I'm jerking the camera around. That's why I want to have a camera holder. Use my hand to get rid of the flies out of my face. Okay, so there's a buggy with a kid in it over there. And a child on the climb frame. Roadie's interested, but he's not doing anything weird or out of the ordinary. So I'll just let him look and we move on. Good times. No one's following me from behind, so that's good. Yeah, you go for a wee, dude. He's having a look at the children again, which is fine. And we're marching on together. No leash encouragement required. So yes, on to earlier about pulling with the leash to get out of a situation. Don't like it. Sometimes you just got to do it. You do. You just got to go. Sometimes it's not ideal, and it is punishing the dog. You're denying them their wishes, and Roadie's wishes was to get up into that situation and no doubt cause some mischief. That's his breed. never shy from a confrontation with Roadie. It's just who and what he is. So I'm going to look behind. That's okay. So I wait for him. Not in any rush. So, it's amazing how fast you can return to calm once you get a bit of distance and you calm yourself. As you heard from my voice, I know this is difficult.
So interjecting, as this is pretty much where I stopped filming. The flies were annoying the hell out of me and I needed both hands to just wave them away from my face as I walked. We didn't see anybody, not even a single human, for the rest of the walk all the way back to Roadie's house. Nothing. I think maybe one bird. So end of the video. Hope that was useful. Shows the method in practice.